Welcome back to the Cheap Shot Music Podcast, everybody. We had the Super Bowl last week, and more importantly, I would say the Super Bowl halftime show last week.
Yeah, really. I mean, it was, it's the biggest music night of the year, right?
Well, I don't know about biggest, because I would say Grammys are probably the biggest, right?
Could be, but in terms of viewership,
sure.
by far the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, like, it's crazy that the artists actually pay to play the Super Bowl, which is just insane to me.
Yeah, you said that to me, and I was like, "What?"
It's like the ultimate exposure gig. Oh no, it's not. This gig isn't about money. This gig is about exposure.
Yeah,
like I still want money.
Well, explain that to the audience really quick.
Right. So, like, it's just a thing where I think this concert cost like $7.5 million. It came out of Dre's pocket, right? And it just kind of was like a slap in the face to all those artists that are out there working like bars and stuff like that, like, and they're like getting paid like nothing. And like the bartenders like justify their low pay by saying, you get a good exposure because we get a lot of people in on a Friday night in this concert, a venue. So we're not going to pay you as much, and
hence exposure gigs.
And so people, that's just the nature of it, right? That's how it goes. So this is like the ultimate exposure gig.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I just don't understand why they make them pay for it. But
it was so cool, man. I loved this show, man. It was like, I thought it was one of the best Super Bowls I've ever seen. My favorite is still Prince. I think most of us would agree with that. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
But I think it's just one of the top ones of all time. I loved all my rap favorites, Snoop Dogg, Dre, 50, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, Mary J. Blige was out there. We didn't get our Tupac hologram, which I was kind of hoping for. And I know I saw all this speculation, all these like rumors, never happened.
It made me wonder if there was going to be technical difficulties at the Super Bowl. And like, that's what also made me wonder, like, was there a mess up at the Super Bowl halftime show? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, of course. Right at the beginning of Still DRE, there was this sort of controversial moment where some people thought there was a mistake in the track or something, like whether it was, because it kind of flips the beat like twice in a row, and it kind of feels like it's in a different meter. And like, there's all this speculation I've seen of these different meters that it could be, and like all this analysis breakdown of the meter changes. And ultimately, it feels like something happened. I mean, I when I saw this post, I saw some people transcribing it. I was like, okay, so I'm not alone. I knew something happened.
Yeah, something different happened. Yeah, not necessarily a technical difficulty, but just something different.
Right. And if it was on purpose, amazing. If it was by accident, it still turned out amazing. Like, what do you think, man?
Yeah, it was on purpose.
Yeah, it was
1,000,000% it was on purpose.
Let's take a listen.
It's like obvious.
Let's take a listen.
We got to listen to it.
Let's Justin have some backup here.
Sure.
Still Snoop Dogg and D.R.E.
Guess who's back?
I see you still doing it. Make some noise for Dr. Dre.
It's still Dre Day, AK.
It's because y'all are white that you don't understand this.
And you do?
I'm accepting that I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Fair.
And that it was on purpose.
Well, I see it more.
I trust my advanced degrees and many years of training and studying music.
I would say that as well.
Something happened.
Yeah. That was not traditional.
But I'm with you. Like, at the same time,
not traditional.
I'm with you at the same time. Something, if it's on purpose, it's amazing. And I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that it was on purpose.
I mean, I would think that it would probably have to be on purpose. And one of the reasons that Justin told me was because, and I agree with this too, it's the dancers. If you watch the dancers while this, mess up is happening, you see that they're perfectly timed with it. And it's because I think they were trying to sync it with this crip walk dance that they were doing. Because, I mean, that's very Southern California.
It's perfectly lined up with it.
So to make it, because the crip walk, if you watch it, it's a little bit disjointed, know?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. It's like you got a limp.
Right. And it fits too. So I think, overall, it was, I would say, intentional, but it could seem like a mess up on first listen.
Yeah.
Then,
there's some other aspects of this show that were really interesting. Like, they mixed like a playback like track with actual live musicians playing. And sometimes they go back and forth, and sometimes they were both playing at the same time.
Yeah, because who was on the drums?
Anderson .Paak, right?
He was. He didn't rap.
The second I saw his big smiling face, because he's always just all teeth, man. He's always just smiling.
It's those glasses and that jacket.
Yeah,
dude. I mean, the dude's just got swagger, and I love watching him play drums. And he just kind of your eyes just divert to him when he's playing, man.
Yeah.
He's just
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it was the Silk Sonic band with
Yeah.
them too.
And so
It's
I'm
great.
and I was listening really close, and I'm hearing his fills, but I'm also hearing the beat like from the track over it, kind of fighting it in terms of like level.
Yeah.
And I still thought it was cool that he, like they were giving him some, sound in the mix. But
Yeah, like Dre doing the piano.
Right.
I mean, I thought that was the perfect amount.
Yeah.
He did play them perfectly,
bling, bling,
even if it's not on the track.
Right.
He played it perfectly.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Right.
well,
It was just kind of
whatever.
odd that he does the bling, 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 bling thing, and then all of a sudden you hear this like classical like line going off, like as he's like walking
That's
away.
what it was.
Yeah.
No, he played that. He played it.
But like it happened a second time when he
Yeah,
like, stood up, and then
yeah.
it's like a player piano like playing by
Oh,
itself
yeah.
or something like that. So
I
mean,
love how it started with that kind of like that classical lens to it, and then it just like the chords that actually went into it,
Yeah.
the different notes, and he's actually playing everything at the same
Yeah, man.
time. And it's like, wait, that doesn't sound like the same track, but
Right.
it's the same track.
and it's also Dre flexing his range,
Oh,
like
yeah.
as a producer. I mean, the dude has dabbled with just about every genre, and he knows his stuff.
He created G-Funk.
Yeah, man, he invented a whole genre of music.
Yeah, I mean,
So I thought it was cool. Snoop Dogg just doing his thing, just high as a kite and just
Yeah.
having fun.
50 Cent doing his thing
50
too.
Cent showing up upside down, more like
Yeah.
$1.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
that was my favorite part. 50 Cent upside down. It was some people's least favorite part.
I liked it.
I think a lot of people maybe hadn't
That
seen
was
the
the
music video, the
acclaim.
original music video, which is what it was referencing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also he was like, he's definitely not the same size as he was back then. He's
Doing
put
those
on-
crunches.
Put on some meat, and
Yeah,
so they were
sure.
calling him $1.
That's rude.
Body shaming.
Yeah, literally though.
And then Eminem, the whole like he takes a knee, does that whole thing. Which this is the strange part. This is this big controversial thing. He took a knee.
Yeah, so for that also, I was like, oh, look, he's bowing to Dr. Dre too. And I was just like, people are blowing it
Yeah.
out of proportion.
But even
as
worse
well.
for me, I didn't even see it because I was so focused on Dre sitting at a
Yeah.
piano. I didn't
Everyone
even
else
see.
was too.
Seriously, it was after the show that someone said, "Oh, you didn't see Eminem kneel?" I'm like, no.
It's like, no, he was literally.
That's
I
the
was-
people
'cause my
like
eyes-
trying to make it political, dude.
Well,
Those are those.
But
yeah.
my eyes were
Tebow!
glued to Dre on a grand piano. I'm just like,
Yeah,
what's
of course.
happening? It's the music geek. I missed this big like statement, for Black Lives Matter and whatnot. But whatever.
Yeah, well, I think Mary J. Blige did a fantastic job, but Kendrick Lamar was right after.
Oh, dude,
And
this was awesome.
the chorus of Now or Never is my favorite chorus of all time.
So good.
They messed out, but whatever. They started with Mad City and they went right into All Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so
Oh,
nice.
and that choreography.
So nice.
That choreography, man, when he's like in the middle and he's got like surrounded by like rows of dudes that all like have their hair bleach blonde and they're wearing the same thing.
Frank.
And they're all like doing this like crazy awesome choreography that's super tight. And like the strobe lights are going. I was like mesmerized at that moment, man.
It's so nice.
He may have had the best like visual aspect of the whole show.
And that's why I can't understand when people say this was the worst Super Bowl halftime show in a long time. It's
God.
like, what are you saying? What are you saying?
They're
What-
most likely racist.
or
Yeah.
they're stupid.
No, they are
Or
racist.
just
They're-
not.
yeah, it's racism.
That could be too.
Against
yeah.
rap music.
It's people
That's
against
true.
rap music. It's ridiculous. I mean,
Those are probably the same people who are against the swear words in the music. And I'm just like, okay, so here, follow me on this thought process,
Okay.
right? So like, we're going to take out swear words because we don't want our children listening to that.
yeah.
But we'll let them watch 300-pound men run violently into each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like almost
And
die.
give each other CTE. Well, an interesting fact is Eminem and 50 Cent still swore.
Yeah, they
It's
did.
because I personally think they cannot do those verses without the swear words.
Me too.
Yeah, and then other people like Snoop and Kendrick changed all of the words.
Yeah. And I don't like
Yeah.
that. I wish they didn't have to change. Because again, I go back to the violent sport where men are
Yeah,
running
but-
into each other and
Right.
like literally injuring their brains.
So I do like the choice of, are they just going to mute the microphone?
Yeah.
Or are they going to actually change the lyrics?
I mean, changing it is a better option to make it more musical, I would say.
Right. But back to your point about people saying it's the worst Super Bowl halftime show. all I could say is that from my point of view, as someone who, like I said, I've studied music my whole life, I've studied hip hop. There is so much value and merit and skill and sophistication in what they did on that show. Doesn't matter what they're doing. The way they're doing it, everything they're doing, it was top notch, man.
And the production too.
Top notch.
You put those two things together. It's
So I will argue anyone who says that was the worst halftime show I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay, racist. Let's go. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to appreciate Black History Month, young man.
Yeah, dude.